Hello there, dear friends, and welcome once again to the Relaxed Fantasy Review. Today, we're continuing our series in the Brand New Player's Handbook, talking about the subclasses that we find within. Today, we're continuing in the Barbarian subclasses, and we're talking about the Path of the Wildheart. This is a path that you would probably find familiar. The name has changed, but the subclass actually greatly resembles the old path of the Totem Warrior. As with the old subclass, there's a lot of choices to make in this one, but they've been tweaked and adjusted. Have they been made better or worse? The Totem Warrior used to be a really popular subclass. Lots of defensive features were built into it that made them a pretty standout pick. How has it changed? Let's find out. Before we get into the details, though, I'd like to let you know, Relaxed Fantasy Review has memberships. For just $1 a month, you can support me here on YouTube and get a couple benefits. First, you get a little badge next to your name in the comments, letting folks know that you're a supporter. But also you get early access to my videos. I upload videos Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I upload them a day early for members only. If that interests you, you can click the join button. It's just down there next to the subscribe button. I'd love to see you in the comments with your member badges. And if it doesn't interest you, that's totally fine too. Just watching the video at all, liking, subscribing, being here on the channel is a great way to support me. So thank you for watching my content here on YouTube. So, as with all classes in the book now, Barbarians get their subclass at level 3, and the Wildheart gets 2 features right off the bat. The first one is Animal Speaker. You can cast the Beast Sense and the Speak with Animals spell as rituals specifically. Technically, you use your Wisdom to do so, but neither of them really care what your spellcasting modifier is. And, yeah. These are nice spells. The fact that you can cast them as rituals means that you aren't using spell slots, and neither of them are spells that you're going to use in combat anyway, so this is just a nice feature that adds to you outside of combat, widening your range as a barbarian. And the idea of the barbarian, speaking with the forest creatures and talking to them, kind of fits the mold, especially with the Path of the Wildheart. So I'm going to give this 8 out of 10. A nice little feature. But the main reason we're here is Rage of the Wilds, and this is the thing that powers you up. When you enter your rage, you can choose one of the following options. Notice it says, when you enter your rage. This means that you can choose a different one of these options every time. You're not locked into them, like with the old subclass. But you can choose one of 3. The Bear. While your rage is active, you have resistance to all damage except Force, Necrotic, Psychic, and Radiant. Now, the old one said you had resistance to all damage except Psychic specifically, so this one's slightly weaker. But to be fair, Radiant and Force are pretty rare damage types to find in D&D. Necrotic's the only real loss, I'd say here. It's a bit of a common one, especially when you're fighting undead, and you were going to not have Psychic in the old version either way. Basically, it's kind of like saying, hey, you're resistant to weapons when you're raging. Now you're resistant to the elements as well. Fire, cold, lightning, thunder, those sort of things. I think it's a really solid feature. But you can also choose the Eagle. When you activate your rage, you can take the dash and disengage actions as part of the same bonus action. And while it's active, you can use your bonus action to do it again. So you can just disengage and dash for free while you're raging. For free, you're using your bonus action, but that's pretty strong. I mean, that's the sort of thing that you'd get if you were a monk out of Step of the Wind, I believe it is. And this is just part of your rage. Pretty solid for maneuverability. Or you can choose the Wolf. While your rage is active, your allies gain advantage against enemies that are within 5 feet of you. So this is kind of like a pack tactics thing. Except it can be done by ranged allies too, and even magic users. As long as they're using attack rolls, they can just hit any enemy that's next to you with automatic advantage. So if you're surrounded, that's all the better for your allies' purposes. All of these are amazing, and depending on the situation, your rage could be any of them. The Bear's a nice standby if you're fighting elemental enemies, but honestly, I might end up using the Eagle and Wolf more often if I'm fighting just regular foes. I give this 10 out of 10, for sure. All 3 options are solid. Then at level 6, you've got more choices, but these aren't tied to your rage. This is called Aspect of the Wilds, and you can change one of these 3 options when you finish a long rest. First, there's the Owl. You gain dark vision out to a range of 60 feet, and if you have dark vision, it's extended by 60 feet. This means that the races that have extended dark vision already can have it out to 180 feet, which is wildly far. Or you can choose the Panther. This gives you a climbing speed equal to your walking speed. Or you can choose the Salmon. This grants you a swimming speed equal to your walking speed. No water breathing, weirdly, but a swim speed is still pretty good. And the fact that you can change these when you long rest. The dark vision's probably the standard I'd go with, but if you know you're going to be in a place where climbing or swimming is essential, then you can switch it out. And I think that that's amazing. I give this one 10 out of 10 as well. Then comes level 10, and the feature is called Nature Speaker. This gives you another spell, Commune with Nature. This is a powerful spell that lets you learn about the natural world around you. For a few miles, I believe, you can learn like the locations of strong enemies, bodies of water, specific types of plants, cities and settlements, maybe extraplanar beings. There's a lot of things you can learn. You can only cast it as a ritual, and technically Wisdom is your spell casting, so this is just like Animal Speaker, but much stronger. However, it is at level 10, when druids would have this spell anyway. So you're not really adding a whole lot to the party, but it's cool still that you've got this decently strong spell, and you can just use it as a ritual. I think that this is another 8 out of 10, a ribbon feature that's got some potency in the right situations. Finally, level 14, and we get Power of the Wild. This is another feature that you choose when you enter your rage. So once again, like Rage of the Wilds, you can do a different one every time. The Falcon says that while your rage is active, you gain a flying speed, as long as you're not wearing armor. So no medium armor barbarians, or light armor barbarians, or whatever. But by this level, barbarians are pretty solid with their unarmored defense most of the time, so that's okay. And a flying speed, holy crap. Considering that your rage can last a long time and you can sustain it with bonus actions, this actually works outside of combat too. That's a brand new Barbarian feature, being able to sustain your rage with your bonus action and it lasting for a while. So that's amazing, in and out of combat flight. Or you can choose the Lion. While your rage is active, any of your enemies within 5 feet of you have disadvantage on attack rolls against target other than you or other barbarians that have this option active. So basically, you just draw fire. By being around your enemies, they have to attack you, or if they attack someone else, they have disadvantage. Another solid feature that pairs nicely with the Wolf from earlier, where you grant your allies advantage, now you're granting your enemies disadvantage. Very powerful. Finally, the Ram. While your rage is active, you can cause a large or smaller creature to be prone when you hit it with a melee attack. Notice that there's no saving throw for this, and no limit to this. This very much resembles like the Goliath's feature from the Hill Giant, where you can knock him prone, but that's proficiency bonus times per day. It also resembles the Topple Weapon Mastery, but that has a saving throw involved. This is just, if I hit you and you're large or smaller, you're going down. That's very strong. That's actually comparable to the flying speed. The disadvantage is probably the weakest one here, and when you're giving loads of enemies disadvantage, and that's your weakest option, wow. Flight is always good, knocking enemies prone is always good, because that grants advantage anyway. And yeah, this is just all good stuff. Even for level 14, these are really powerful features. I'm giving this 10 out of 10 again, especially because you can choose. Flying's a great standby, but if you really want to wear your armor and you don't want to, go unarmored, then yeah, use one of the other two. You're not going to be disappointed. Overall, this subclass is very strong. While raging, you got so much power and so much versatility. The Aspect of the Wilds feature, I give it 10 out of 10, but that's just because of its versatility. Dark vision, climbing speed, and swimming speeds are good. I wouldn't say they're amazing. It's just nice that you have all of them, depending on the day. And the other two, I mean, it's a shame that your level 10 feature is just a spell. I mean, Commune with Nature's good. There's nothing wrong with it. It just doesn't really help you out in combat. And your ribbon feature at level 3 also is a ribbon feature. So I think overall, I'm giving this subclass 9 out of 10. It's incredibly strong still, and I don't think that in combat you're going to be disappointed. I just think that it's a shame that they pulled away from combat with some of the other features. You're only getting a combat boost at level 3, cool, and level 14. Everything else is out of combat. I like that they're making the Barbarian more versatile, please don't get me wrong. But I think that this was a weird way to split it up. Still powerful, 9 out of 10 for sure. Is it as good as the old Totem Warrior? I think so. I think that it's not as easy of a choice anymore. It used to just be you're a bear totem barbarian, you have resistance to all damage except psychic, and that's it. The other ones didn't compare. Now they do. They're very, very tough, and you're going to be picking different options each time. I think that's good. It offers more versatility and breathes new life into the subclass. So the Path of the Wildheart, 9 out of 10, incredibly solid. Definitely, I would say, on par with, if not better than, the old Totem Warrior. Nice job, Wizards of the Coast. Good reflavoring. This has been the Relaxed Fantasy Review. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe down below. Have a look for the join button down there, and keep your eyes peeled for more subclass reviews coming down the line soon. Have a good one, my friends.